Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. I'm Teigeler, illustrator for many popular independent role-playing game publishers. And this is Geo-morphs. I'm going to draw 40 of these guys, and we're going to work on it and talk about Geo-morphs. We're going to talk about different rooms and what we can put in rooms, the overall process. It's going to be a good time. So hopefully stick around through the whole thing. And if you want to skip right past that 9-room preview that was the short video that I put out at the same time as this one, then you're going to go to 153. Again, like and subscribe. Make sure you comment in the comment section so that we can have a discourse here. It's really what I'm trying to build this channel into, is something where we can kind of chat and talk about the process of art and the process of playing role-playing games and having fun. That's what this is supposed to be about. Got started off here doing a couple of easy corridors, a couple of intersections, just trying to find my way. And you'll see as I'm doing this curved corridor that it takes a minute to find the exact radius on those. And I'm using an inside wall technique coupled with some other hatching techniques that we'll go into. In 1975, Gary Gygax produced a series of dungeon geomorphs. 4 different sets, I believe it was: dungeons, caves, caverns, and then lower dungeons. And then it was later compiled into this, the dungeon geomorphs, in 1980. It just was great because you could take these cutout dungeons and create sort of your own dungeon, where you could turn them around and position them in any way and create a unique layout each time. All right, now we're getting in past the 9 initial ones here, and we're getting into a 20 by 20 with another 10 by 20 alcove. All right, I want to generate this room, and I'm going to use Ruins of the Undercity by Kabuki Kaiser. There'll be a link down in the comments. So let's go ahead and roll on H, which is chamber and room features. Let's see what we got in this room here. 32 is going to get us half flooded, water rises up to waist level. Next D4 quarters, room and chambers are half flooded as well. So very interesting. So, you know, just the randomness of these tables, I had no idea that that room would be flooded. It's kind of neat. I like it. All right, gonna create a 20 by 20 L-shaped room now, and I'm gonna fill this one with the same Ruins of the Undercity, only I'm going to go to Chamber and Room Contents, and we're going to fill this up with that. So it's a D20 roll. Here we go. I got a 7. It's empty. Interesting. Well, we think it's empty. I'm going to roll for treasure. 9. Ancient coins, brass, and gold alloy, equivalent to 750 electrum pieces. So it's not empty. So does that mean there's a hidden niche? There must be. So what's the container? 19. It's loose, so it's probably just tucked in to a niche somewhere. And let's find out what the treasure protection is. That's table M. Again, a D20, and I got a 16. Treasure is trapped with contact poison, save, or D6 damage. Pretty neat. All that from just a random table. Gotta love it. Alright, so continuing on, we're drawing this L-shaped room now, adding in the darker lines with a 0.5 Sakura Pigma Micron, and then I get in there with the 0.3. As I'm doing the grid, you can see I'm lifting just to give it some variety. This is a personal project that I'm working on, some geo-morphs. We'll be releasing this in its full form later this year. But I want to give a quick preview and just talk about art, all the process that goes along with it. So I thought this was a fun one. Alright, here we are with ovals. Super fun. Talk a little bit about the cross-hatching that I'm using here, which is inspired by Dyson logos, and Dyson is amazing. If you haven't checked out Dyson's dodecahedron, I highly suggest that you do so. He's got a ton of free content out there, and he's just an amazing cartographer. But a lot of people learned from Dyson's method, and I put that into my style too. I like it. It gives it a nice kind of gradient between where the earth is and where the regular stone flooring is. I'm just going to let you sit back and enjoy. Alright, let's generate up something here for our corridors and our intersections. All right, on the corridor features, we're going to roll a D100, and we got a 90. Dripping sound. You could do multiples of those if you wanted to for corridors. I rolled a 13, dank and moldy. How about this corridor? What's its illumination? D100 roll. 99. Single lantern, fragile glass. Is that sitting in the middle of the corridor, or is it sitting in the intersection? What's this corridor type? Rough masonry and dirt floor. This little intersection. And then let's find some random items. This is a D20 roll to find in our corridors here. 3. There's a bucket. One more thing for our corridors and we'll move on to our coffin room. A battered shield. Interesting. Alright, so let's go back to the corridor type because I like the wall features there. What type of walls are on here? 20-sided die roll. 18. Weird smooth stone, polished like a mirror. Fits perfect with the coffin-shaped room. And for this T-shaped room, let's generate a chamber contents. 15, monster and treasure. Let's see what the treasure is. 1 piece of jewelry. All right. And isn't it a container? A 9 is, it's in pottery or jars. And is it protected? Treasure is trapped with contact poison. And now let's go to the random monsters and find out. Let's make this a second level. Monster. It's a D100 roll. 56. A lizard man. I'm going to go into these alcoves now, and we're going to generate another area. So chamber and room features, this is a D100 roll, and I rolled a 46. A 46 is refuse and putrid smell. And then I'm going to generate a random creature in here too for the refuse. That's a D20 roll. A brigand. Nice. And let's roll on traps. So it's a D100 roll, and it's mixed between pits and gases and all kinds of lovely stuff. So D100. 40. A pit, a cesspit. And as we move into this hairpin turn room, that's what's so cool about having random generated rooms. And you just never know what you're going to get, and it's just perfect. angled corridors take me back to a lot of the old school dungeons where they had, it was the worst. If you were the player, mapping it was impossible. And as a GM or referee or DM, it was very difficult to describe back in the day. It's gotten much better, I think, but angled corridors have always been very troublesome. Let me know what you think. Do you like angled corridors, or do you try and stay away from anything that throws your players off of mapping if you're the DM? And if you're a player, do you like angled corridors, or are they the bane of your mapping existence, as they were for me? Alright, for this special curved room, let's talk about what we would put in this room. So you could certainly dice for it, and if you did, you could come up with a table of your own, or you could just place something in it. Now this room, being that it's about 60 foot long into the round part of the alcove, might be nice to put like this giant statue in there, or maybe a mirrored wall along the what would be north or towards the bottom of the screen. Maybe you put a pool. Could be any number of things that you use this odd shaped alcove / room for. I think it's interesting. If you have some ideas of what we might put in this odd room, put it down in the comments. I think I'd go with a statue at the very end. Maybe it's living, maybe it's not. Of course, if we put a pool in there with a statue in it, now you've got a doubled up interest. That's what's great about random tables. Just take some dice out, figure out what you want to put in that room, roll the dice, consult the chart. There's nothing better in life. Well, maybe a few things. Just building your own world. In the infamous words of Bob Ross, just building a happy little world. Well, once the heroes get through, it'll be happy, but until then, it's just a dark, dank dungeon waiting to kill you. Or your PCs. Alright, again, we're going to generate this dead end here with a D100 roll for illumination. 69 is there is no illumination. What type of corridor is it? 78. A 20. Marble and alabaster construction. It is intact. And as we flesh this thing out, there could be a stairway at the end of it. Could be a dead body at the end of it. Using those multiple tables, we could flesh this thing out all the way. We're getting close to the end of this thing, and I just want to thank you guys for hanging out. And be sure to comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think of these kind of mixed long form videos, and dicing along and just talking while I draw a little bit here. I really appreciate all the support, and hopefully you have learned a little. Maybe you'll try this on your own. It's not that hard, putting lines down on paper. My overall plan here, and why there are no doorways in a lot of these rooms, is it will be randomized. So unlike your geomorphs where they all connect up, the entrance and exits of all these rooms will be randomized. So if it's a 4-sided room, there might be one every 10 feet, there might be one every 20 feet, just depends on the way the procedure works. And I'm going to get into that later. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but that's why there are no doors on any of these rooms. It's because it's all a part of the plan, all a part of the plan. I hate to keep you guys all in stasis, waiting and wondering what the plan is, but I want to make sure that I can be successful at it and figure out all of the intricacies of it before I make a whole lot of news to it, but it'll be coming this year. Well, the dead end is done, and so is the video. I want to thank you guys for sticking around as long as you did, or cutting through each little spot and coming to the point where you enjoyed your time here. Hopefully it was well worth your time, and if it was, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Be blessed.